take a look around and find somebody to War Eagle. It's showtime.
Holy cow! Oh my God!
Well, hello, Auburn, Alabama, and all points around the globe where War Eagle can be heard and returned with joy, particularly on the rolling hills and plains of the loveliest village today. Hello, consumers of Auburn Broadcast Transmissions, and welcome to Auburn Stuff, the variety show where we discuss the philosophy of life in orange and blue, and other stuff that you may or may not find entertaining and informative, but that I certainly do. This episode of Auburn Stuff is brought to you by Scott Schroeder Photography. Whether it's faces, spaces, or places, Scott Schroeder Photography specializes in modern classic imagery to tell your story. Based in the South Carolina Lowcountry and traveling throughout the Southeast and beyond, visit ScottSchroederPhotography.com for information and booking. It's been a hell of a rocky road as of late, Auburn family, has it not? The old one step forward, two steps back, do-si-do. For every road win over LSU, good recruiting class, incoming talented transfer, and promising coaching hire, we're hit with a Mississippi State debacle, a legacy QB transferring out, our biggest rivals playing for the Natty, and a coaching carnival ride from hell. The seemingly scant goods have made the apparently overwhelming bads feel like an unarrestable avalanche, and it all started when we got rid of a long-tenured football coach who had become a bit of an anchor, right? Whoo! Thank you, right? But then we went and replaced him with an experienced head coach with a deep resume whose greatest professional sin is that he ain't from round here. What the heck? Damn Yankee! How's he gonna coach? How's he gonna recruit? He doesn't know our ways? He doesn't speak like us? Good God, people, how parochial can we possibly be? It's an absolute miracle the man got off the plane and got moved into his house. I mean, seriously, the last guy we saw on that short of a rope was Saddam Hussein, bless his heart. In the meantime, Bruce Pearl, a guy from Boston who cut his coaching teeth in California, Indiana, and Wisconsin and brought in under a show cause order, was given the latitude of years to build a foundation and grow a program that ultimately put, sit down, Auburn basketball in the Final Four. You may or may not have heard about that. And could take them beyond that, perhaps even this year. And BP's basketball program shows absolutely no signs of slowing down. Why? Because he's magic? Because he's the greatest hoops coach ever? Or because he's competent, smart, works hard, and was given the tools to succeed and trusted with his task? Don't answer either way, that's rhetorical. On top of it all, Mr. Boston, I think Boston would be New York. Yeah, Boston. Can't get there from here. Mr. Boston College alum is arguably the most beloved non-player in Auburn history and perhaps the greatest ambassador for Auburn University you or I have ever seen. But basketball ain't football. And we don't give the football coach the same set of variables under which to work. Why? Because of fear and geography. We can't stomach the thought of the road not traveled, and Alabama absolutely owns real estate in the headspace of our money people. They can't seem to function rationally because of the intellectual paralysis brought on by the post-traumatic stress of the little brother syndrome in their own heads. Inside any organization, there are a million unknowables for those in the, shall we say, extramural. That's us. And unknowables are fodder for rumor and innuendo. When housed inside the literal and figurative walls of Auburn football, these unknowables have been the poison wellspring of pointless and counterproductive speculation for decades. at least as long as I can remember, and I watched Little Train Randy Campbell and Al Del Greco play. The pathos engendered by the tenebrous machinations of the football apparatus has stricken the Auburn faithful and nearly incapacitated all cognitive function. In other words, we're all sad and ate up with distraction, and we can't think straight because it seems like a bunch of buck-toothed, cockeyed donkeys sitting on piles of cash with flies buzzing around their heads are pulling the strings of the operation. Is that the case? I'd say it's doubtful on the whole, but those with the checkbooks are doing very little to disabuse us of that notion. Further adding fuel to the proverbial fire are the highs of 1983, 93, 2004, 2010, and 13 mixed with the debilitating lows of 1991, 98, 2008, 2012, and hell, I'll throw in 2021. Throw in an openly hostile media that goes unchecked by reality, the unaccountable lunacy of social media, the lingering hangover of the 1960s and 70s, the ascendancy of the Death Star to the west, and your once even rival to the east, now bracketing us with recent titles. There's little wonder the Auburn family can hardly get out of bed in the morning, or at least that's the narrative anyway. All of this creates a positive feedback loop of stupidity. We hurt our own cause by speculating on random nonsense pushed by people with antipathy for Auburn. We fracture our own family by making wildly uninformed claims regarding players, coaches, and staff. It's time to trash that old mentality, let it die, and in its place, allow fresh and informed perspective to grow. It's a terrifying blind leap, I know, but that which we need the most will be found where we least want to look. What are we supposed to do? Well, we can sure as hell mind our own P's and Q's when it comes to supporting something we claim to love, but we can't do much about those with the purse strings when fear and arrogance are driving them to incompetency. We can only hope and pray that a sane voice of reason rises to a position of leadership within this little circle, and they give A.D. Green and Coach Harsin the resources and room to thrive. They are intelligent, competent, and driven to succeed. It ain't theoretical physics, y'all. It's just football. And the right people can thrive pretty much anywhere as long as they're allowed to do the jobs for which they've been hired. I believe the right people are there. Write the checks and get the hell out of the way. How would your businesses have survived if your neighbor, your dentist, and your kid's first grade teacher were allowed to make critical decisions for you? Again, don't answer. That's rhetorical. That's it for Auburn Stuff today. Thank you for your time. Please like, subscribe, and share. Peace out, homies, and War Eagle.